Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I'm sending you all love and high vibrations. This market is coiling up to make its next move, and as I mentioned in my previous video about transitioning into the 44th week of the year, which starts on November 1st, we're seeing the volatility day by day, and now is the time to get prepared for this bull run to really start pushing to the upside in the coming weeks. So in today's video, I'm going to follow up on the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP to do some analysis before we head into the weekend. And just to let everyone know, for the next couple of days, I am running a flash sale on my Mastermind course. So if you're interested, I'll let you know more details about that sale in a moment. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. As I said earlier, I'm currently running a sale for my Mastermind course until the end of the month on October 31st. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I thought this would be nice to do. The sale will be live for a couple more days, so for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course with the promo code in the pinned comment below for a discount. My email's in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And by joining my Mastermind course, you will also qualify for a discount on my new advanced trading course, which releases on November 1st. So this is a good opportunity for those who want to take advantage of the sale on both of my courses and still have some time to study before the final moments of this bull run. So if you're interested, you could contact me directly. That information is in the description of this video. And also later today at 5 p.m. Eastern time zone, I plan to do a live stream, hang out with the Wolfpack. Really love doing these Friday night lives with everyone. So with that being said, let's take the red pill. Well, I just wanted to start out with a little date numerology, sort of following up in the last video. A lot of people were enjoying that decode that I did on Halloween, and I wanted to throw in some extra information that might be helpful. So tomorrow's date being 10/30/2021, October 30th, gives us the 303rd day of the year. I discussed this in the last video, and this 33 date number, something to consider just because we're getting the date numerology of 9. So if I do 10/30/2021, which is tomorrow's date, that's giving me the 9, and that 9 of course comes back to BTC, the ticker symbol of Bitcoin, which is the sun or soul, Helios, the energy of the market. And this will be happening on a Saturday, which is the day of Saturn. And of course, like I've said in many of my videos, Satoshi is Saturn. And Saturn is also known as Kronos. So Kronos, the way that it is spelled on Wikipedia, as you can see here, Cronus. This is an important connection because here we have that 72 and that 36, and that 72 and 36 of course comes back to Bitcoin, 72 and 36, and 72 is half of 144, and that's been a very powerful number in my work lately. Just a little side note, because my end of the year price target for Bitcoin is $144,000 on the new moon, December, which is also an eclipse. Had a lot of people asking me what I felt about Bitcoin, so there's my prediction. So what is Kronos known for? Well, he holds the scythe because he is controlling harvest, the god of harvest. And this scythe or sickle, I started to decode this a little more, and it was pretty fascinating how this all goes. So scythe giving us that 21, and of course that 21 number is very popular for Bitcoin because there's 21 million Bitcoin in supply. And Kronos was overthrown by his son Zeus, and Zeus gives us that 21 in Chaldean as well. Of course, this comes back to Jesus, and that's another story. So again, these 21s are all rolling back to Saturn with the 21s, as you can see in the Chaldean most pure cipher. So we can keep going on this. It's absolutely fascinating. Saturn holding the scythe. This also is the symbology behind the Grim Reaper. And the Grim Reaper is giving us that 33. And remember what I said about tomorrow? Tomorrow's date being the 303rd day of the year, and the rules of numerology are removing the 0, giving you 33. We've spoken about this number 33 quite a bit on my channel, but it's fascinating how it's tying back to the Grim Reaper. Also, with this 110, again, removing the 0, that's giving you 11. 11, the master number, which is when everything resets. Okay, and I have a little bit of a theory about what Saturn is in this idea behind the Grim Reaper, and I believe it's the one who walks with you towards the transition of your enlightenment. So when you get to the 33rd degree, when the pineal gland is actually unfrozen, you are now at the stage of 11, which is the restart, like January 1st being the 1-1 date numerology. So this restart of the calendar, kind of like when you become enlightened or illumined, you have a restart of your consciousness in a sense. And that is the Grim Reaper's job as Father Time. You lose time throughout this ego collapse, and when you become anew, the phoenix rising from the ashes, you now become a completely new identity. All your ideas and all of your points of attention reconnect to something that is way bigger than it once was. So it's a fascinating thing, and perhaps more to say in our live stream later tonight, but I'm really fascinated about this connection here with this 33. So Kronos was overthrown by Zeus and imprisoned in Tartarus. So let's continue. So Tartarus being important because some of you who are aware of my work also might be aware of Tartaria and mud floods and the work of John Levy. So this is quite fascinating when you start to study the Greek and Roman mythology, but of course Tartarus being that 23 in Chaldean, and that comes back of course to Bitcoin, 23 in Chaldean. And who's the father of Kronos? It is Uranos, or Uranus, with the 23 in Chaldean. This is all coming back to the same origins, guys. It's very important. This is the primordial sky god, and his consort being Gaia, who is Earth. And Earth with that 25, very important, coming back to BTC. Remember, Saturn is the king of Earth. He is the ruler. So this is all coming back to the same origin points. And of course, all this stuff being that Satoshi Nakamoto is Saturn, Satoshi Nakamoto, giving us that 55. And why I'm bringing this up again is because the date of 111, which is coming up very soon, the first day of November, is giving us a very important connection, which is between Rosh Hashanah. So we just had Rosh Hashanah on September 7th of 2021, and you can see right there, they are 55 days apart, okay? And this is crucial because Rosh Hashanah was the start of Shmitah, which is the 7-year cycle. It will also be the next day will be the 7 weeks and 7 days. So the following day, as we transition into the second, will be 7 weeks and 7 days since the start of Rosh Hashanah. And another side note about Shmitah and why this is so interesting is because September is Sept or Septa, which is 7. So the date is actually 7/7. And this date of the 2nd of November would be 7 weeks and 7 days. And the day before the transition day will be a 55-day difference, of course, coming back to Satoshi Nakamoto. And this is really fascinating because the date of 111, November 11th, will be the start of the 44th week of the year. And of course, Satoshi gives us that 44. And Sat, which is the smallest increment of a Bitcoin, giving us that 8. Okay? So we always discussed this in the past. Sats are essentially the smaller increments of a Bitcoin, sort of like pennies or a smaller increment of $1. And this 8 connection comes back to the date numerology of 1/1/1/2021. And that's that transition point that I keep talking about. So the following day that we were just discussing, the 2nd of November, gives us 56 days in between Rosh Hashanah. And this 56 number is quite important because it's coming back to Society of Jesus, of course, the Jesuit order. The following day after that, again, will be 57 days. So I'm assuming that between tomorrow into the 3rd of November, it's going to be strange for crypto. There could possibly be a shakeout, and it happens on any one of those days. Because today is a Friday and we are heading into a weekend, and the weekends are typically retail traders, predominantly on leverage, very unsophisticated investors. When we open on Monday, that's really going to be an interesting thing to see how this market all plays out. So I don't really care too much what happens over the weekends. The weekly close is always pretty critical, but the weekly close is happening within the time frame of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange opening up in Forex. So it's a little bit more balanced by that time, but essentially once the market closes later today around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bitcoin and cryptos are trading alone all the way up until 6 p.m. On Sunday. That's why that time frame is so up in the air, okay? But anyways, I am anticipating a shakeout between anytime tomorrow and the 3rd, and this would be totally sensible, because one of the other ways that I add up my date numerology would be this way right here, and we're getting the 55. So I suspect into the new moon, it's going to be something where maybe we have one day out of nowhere, 4-hour candle, big volatility. We even saw yesterday with Bitcoin, if anyone was paying attention, we had a 1-minute candle where the whales essentially all shorted at the same time to fill up buy orders of a much bigger whale. Some 1,000+ Bitcoin order was filled in a matter of moments, and they could do this whenever they want. And I've been warning people about this for weeks now. I was saying that essentially when Bitcoin or Ethereum start to enter price discovery, these are the moments where we get very random moves to the downside, and they get bought up within moments. And that is precisely how we've been seeing every single pullback thus far. Let's get into the analysis. So I'm really interested in how this is all playing out. Of course, we have Bitcoin right here, and let's just recap the last video I made. I actually gave a bunch of price targets, and most of them came to life. So one of which was seeing Bitcoin retest 57K. That happened. The second one was Ethereum retesting prior all-time highs, giving an upside target. And the other one was XRP coming down to the 200 exponential moving average on the daily with a bounce. So we can go to the XRP chart and we could see right here, this was our 200 exponential. We essentially came within, a fraction of a cent of it, and then immediately had a bounce, and it was a pretty strong recovery since. So this looks like a really nice structure that we're forming on XRP. We'll get to that analysis in a moment, but we did see a lot of these price targets come to fruition with the downside exception of Ethereum. And this is really interesting to see because Ethereum is very strong right now. And I'll give people a little bit of a reason why. Okay, so Bitcoin around 8 days ago hit a new all-time high and it entered price discovery, and since then it's pulled back. This is not weird at all. To see a new all-time high with a retest of the golden pocket Fibonacci is very, very strong. This is something we want. But when this sort of thing happens with declining volume, you will see that liquidity shift into the altcoins. And what's the second biggest coin in the game? Well, it's Ethereum. So this makes a lot of sense. Bitcoin entered price discovery, then we see declining volume. This money is moving into ETH and a lot of these shit coins that are doing really well right now. And what this does is it creates Ethereum to attempt a new all-time high. And we saw that with ETH trying this all-time high, it still got rejected. So it's not ready yet. What I'm trying to say right now is what I've been saying for a while. This market uses this 43rd week of the year, transition into the 44th week of the year, to really shake out leverage, okay? And I anticipate between now and 11/11, the 11th day of November, we're gonna have that sort of market structure, because right now we're just seeing how ritualized it all is. Bitcoin hitting this all-time high at $66,000, ETH hitting $4,400 as we transition into the 44th week of the year. This is all it is what it is what I'm trying to say. So from a technical perspective, what we're seeing right now with Ethereum is totally normal. It's nothing to get worried about. It's just stronger than we anticipated. Remember, there was only one other bull run that ETH has been a part of. We don't have a lot of chart history on it. So this is why I'm always giving upside and downside targets. At the end of the day, I don't really care because these moves that we're getting are nominal comparatively to where I see this going in December and January. That's what I'm most focused on. What happens with Ethereum between $4,400 and $3,900, it doesn't matter. It's all about what we're projecting for the future, which for me is $14,000 to $15,000 Ethereum, as high as 19,000 Ethereum. So who cares about what's going on in this short term? Too many people right now are getting in very high leverage positions on coins without doing any TA, and they're just following blindly whatever they're learning about on YouTube. And that's really problematic. You need to be safe right now because this is the stage in the bull run where the most people lose money, believe it or not. It's really fascinating how this all works, but it's all about sentiment, and they're culling people in right now with Shiba Inu and all this other bullshit that's going on in this market. People need to stay safe. Keep your eye on the prize, okay? Don't get lost in the sauce. So what we're seeing right here is a textbook downtrend in Bitcoin. I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart. I'm going to make this look a little bit larger. And I did mention swipes down to the 57,000 area. We got there for a moment and then got completely bought up. You could even see that we did have a bunch of 4-hour candles getting supported around 58,000. That again was also very expected. What we're seeing is we've yet to actually backtest the 786 Fibonacci, which is the top of the golden pocket, or these 200 moving averages. So the 200 exponential being the light green and this 200 simple moving average being the dark green. I do anticipate we will test them. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to test them right now. I just suspect we will. And they are gradually increasing quite rapidly because we are trading above them and the chart's just looking pretty strong. So in my opinion, at this time, I do not think we're going to trade below 55K Bitcoin for the rest of this bull run. I don't see it trading below there, and if it does, it's going to be bought up very, very fast. It'll be more of a shakeout, like sort of scam wick, than it would be actually trading at those levels. Even 56K, I see that being being a bounce level. So if we're going to get downside, it's nominal in between the current lows we've seen in the structure and the potential downside target, meaning the people out there that are waiting for 56 or 55K or lower Bitcoin, you're too greedy in the other direction. You really need to stop. That mentality is toxic, okay? Do TA, learn what's going on here, and you're going to be able to see what's going on here. So I believe right now people are getting in fights and, you know, this like unending discussion about how much lower we'll go, even when we're within a couple % of the lows. This type of mentality is what gets people to never enter a market. When we get low, they think it'll keep going. When we get high, they FOMO in. And then that's the moment it reverses again. So essentially what's happening here is a bull flag, okay? So anyone out there who knows how to, you know, draw flags, essentially you have this downsloping resistance. You have also a downtrending support level, and it's causing a flag to form. Now, I do suspect that we can naturally get to the bottom of this flag one more time, and that would complete the downside move in the structure of the 200s being backtested. Is it going to last long? Just as long as it lasted here. Just as long as it lasted here. It's fast, guys. You can see that once we get to the bottom, we typically bounce very quickly off of those levels. So you need to get ready because we're about to switch into a mode where we don't get any more downside. And that's not me saying right now with 100% certainty that we will go down again. I'm just giving you the levels to look out for. Ultimately, your bag should have been packed all back here. Waiting for highs is what gets people to have a lot of emotions in a market. You want to buy when it's bloody or buy when it's boring. That's why I'm really fascinated with coins like VeChain and Vitho and Theta. I'm interested in stuff that's down and suppressed, not stuff that's mooning, you know? So remember, things like Shiba right now are a distraction. If you have it, congratulations, you're making money. Good for you. If you don't have it, don't even fucking look at that chart. Literally minimize it off your screen and don't care. One of the other bigger issues right now, like words of wisdom, red pill that people need, is if you're waking up in your day and going to coinmarketcap.com and you are looking at the top gainers, you're going to lose this game of investing. I promise you all the money in the world. If you care about the coins that are doing the best today, you're not an investor. You have a lot to learn. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's just facts. It's been hilarious how many days go by since my videos and people are commenting, how do you feel about Shiba? How do you feel about Doge? How do you feel about Rocket? Like, the reason I don't talk about this stuff is because I'm a real one. I'm trying to get people to learn a life skill. I'm not trying to get people to, shiny object syndrome. Like, sure, that gets a lot of clicks, that gets a lot of, view time, but that's not what I'm about. I'm trying to teach people a skill so they could change their lives. That's what it's all about. So this is a more philosophical video today. I want it to be that way because we're really getting close to where this market's going to start raging to the upside. And I want the people who follow my work to just be kicking back and relaxing. I don't want any of you to be worried or wondering what's going on, because it ultimately doesn't matter in the day-to-day. It's all about the big picture. So going off of this flag example, we could go off daily closes on the lows to daily closes on the highs. We're not on logarithmic scale right now, which is good. And then we're going to go basically half staff down to the bottom of the flagpole, and this gives us a measured mood somewhere around 82K, and that makes a ton of sense because that's within the 1618, which is the golden ratio, and I believe it will also be in line with targets from the prior bull run. Right there, it would be the 8-spot fib extension, which is pretty normal, and I do suspect Bitcoin to be in the 6 figures by the end of November, meaning I don't really care about the exact price by the end of November, but I see potential for $119,000 Bitcoin before the end of Hanukkah. So anyways, that's a different discussion. Let's move on to Ethereum, because we already know the downside level is essentially that 56K would be a gift. If we're going to break here around 63,700 with a 4-hour closure, we're probably going to retest highs. Once we retest highs and break above and enter price discovery, game over. This thing's going straight to 72K and then 80 and 90 pretty fast, within weeks most likely. So let's get to the Ethereum analysis. Again, Ethereum, very strong, enter price discovery today. Let's turn off these drawings and just work with what we have here. So you can see these EMAs and symbol moving averages are all looking very, very good. We had our wolf cross back here around $3,300. Down here was your entry points. Right now, we're just really doing well in this uptrend. We created a new high, a new all-time high, and it immediately got rejected, just like it did over here. That's a sign of, heavy manipulation from leverage trading. This is, it's classic at best. So we saw a retest off the 21 exponential moving average yesterday. That's a huge wick. That's a huge candle that we got. It was very random, especially with pressure on some of the other coins. So this trading range right here is building a lot of strength. And at this time, if we are going to break below $3,880 on a 4-hour candle, that's probably the move to swipe us down into the mid 3,000s, but I don't think it's going to trade there too long, just like I said with Bitcoin. So if we are going to get anything below 3,800 on Ethereum, it's most likely just going to swipe down to this 55 simple moving average, and then it'll bounce from there, and that would be a gift. That's a gift, okay? I'm not saying that will happen. That's a gift. Okay, so when we are at this stage in a bull run, don't get greedy on the downside. It's not the way you want to be. So that's basically it with ETH. It's just if we are going to get any swipes below that on a closure, below 3,900, I do anticipate we could come down into the 3,007, 3,006, maybe as low as the 3,500 level. But it'll all be, it's all more alike than it is different. Don't get greedy when you're at 3.8 looking for 3.5. That's kind of the mentality I'm trying to embed into people right now. Do not get greedy on the downside at this stage of the bull run. And could we go lower than that? Absolutely yes. Anything could happen in this matrix, but more than likely, I do suspect the 3,900 area is going to be a pretty damn strong support, and we would need to have larger candle closes, 6-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour candles below those levels in order to anticipate any further moves to the downside. Let's move to XRP. XRP is still in an absolute downtrend. It back tested these lower levels, which was really beautiful to see. It was fast and it quickly recovered. And right now you can see all of our key moving averages on the daily chart are coiling up around $1.07, and that's why it's having a hard time breaking. So just to let everyone know, I've been saying for a very long time now to not expect a new all-time high for XRP until around the first or second week of December. And until then, we're going to chop sideways. And the definition of sideways is between highs and lows. Okay, but I do think we'll remain in structure, meaning multiple or successive higher lows. So we have, again, another higher low. That's very good. I believe we're forming somewhat of a symmetrical triangle at this time, and it's coiling up and getting ready to make a move. In my opinion, that move is to the upside. Can we shake out to the downside at any time? Absolutely. But I also mentioned that whatever moves we're going to get right now in this market, they're going to be fast. They're going to be bought up pretty quickly. So what's going on here is pretty obvious. They're suppressing this coin until the final moments of the end of the bull run. I've said that so many times, and that's why this is a trader's coin and not a hodler's coin, because the only way to really make substantial gains on this coin is to trade it back and forth. If you're not doing that, you have to deal with it being boring as fuck and sideways for an extended period of time. That's the red pill. And what we're getting right now is absolutely similar structure. Bart Simpson heads over and over and over again. If I go to the 2-day chart, I do believe that we had a bearish MACD cross. Yep. So what I think is going on here is this 55 simple on the daily or on the 2-day chart is going to remain being a very nice support level on 2-day closures. We have a 2-day close tonight. We're looking pretty solid until we're starting to get 2-day closures above the topside Bollinger Band. I'm not really too interested on more continuation to the upside. So topside Bollinger Band's at $1.20 right now, and I would suspect 2-day closes above that topside band will bring us onto new highs. Essentially, the 3-day is what you would really want to pay attention to. But remember with XRP, it just, once it wants to move, it moves. So anything into that $1.20 on the 2-day closes or breaking structure right here above $1.22, I suspect it to swipe up above the top side Bollinger Band on the 3-day chart and then lead to continuation, retesting prior all-time highs. And that could take until around Hanukkah. So that would be late November. That's how long it could take in that trend. It could also break this 140 level around 11/11 or, kind of mid-November. And that would be really nice too, especially for anyone who is getting any entries near that low $1 range. Like I've been saying, I don't see 86 cents being broken. So all of this stuff that we're getting, in my opinion, is just opportunity for those of you that don't have any XRP and want to accumulate a little bit before this run ends. And even though my comment before said that this is a trader's coin, that doesn't mean that I don't hold a large position in XRP. XRP is my third biggest position. I've been trading it professionally now for probably a year and a half. It's changed my life. Actually, learning TA on XRP and trading it the way I have, it's absolutely changed my life and a lot of other people that I've trained in how to become a trader. So I like this coin mostly because I know how to read it. I know how to do Gematria on it, and I've been very successful in doing such. And that's why I've been able to wake up from that XRP army cult and help so many people wake up from it as well, because it just isn't what we are told that it is. And a lot of people keep falling for that. And it'll be until this bull run really finishes off that it'll take a lot of people to finally stop drinking the Kool-Aid. What I mean by that is, by March of 2022, we can see XRP right back at $2 again, even when it breaks out. That's how a cryptocurrency like this works. It has a very volatile, sharp spike into the end of a bull run, and then it comes crashing down. And it's the people that thought that it'll keep going and going and going and going because some random YouTuber told them that it'll go to $30 or whatever. These are the people that get finessed. When the RSI on the weekly chart is sitting at 95 and people are still pushing for higher price targets, that's when you know you need to stop watching those people's videos. Just serious words of wisdom there. If we're on a weekly chart and we're starting to see 95 RSI, saying this again, do not fall for people's bullshit talking about higher price targets. That is when the market starts to reverse on people. Remember what I just said. Write it on your refrigerator. So that's the analysis for today. I suspect that XRP is going to remain being very sideways and boring. I think that Ethereum could attempt one more test to prior highs, or maybe even go a little bit higher into this 3-day Bollinger Band, which would be sitting around, I wouldn't even be surprised if it went to $4,444 and then keeled over a little bit for a retest of 4K. But again, anything lower than 3,900, it's just such a gift. Same thing with Bitcoin. Anything lower than 58K, it's a gift. And at this time, the higher we trade, the more these moving averages move up, which means that the higher we trade, the less likely we are to go lower, and those price targets on the downside will continue to increase as time goes on. I said so many things in today's video. I mean, I think this is one where somebody could watch it 2 or 3 times and really get so much out of it. We will be doing that live stream later around 5 p.m. Eastern time, so I'm excited to hang out with all of you guys. I know you all have been loving these live streams. Broke records on the last one with around 700 or 800 people viewing at the same time, so it's been beautiful to be able to have shared so many words of wisdom and high vibrations with the family over here in the waters above Wolfpack. So again, final reminder, the Mastermind course sale ends at the end of this month. We got a couple more days left for anyone who wanted to get that. The promo code is in the pinned comment below. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day in this matrix. Much love.